Welcome to this explainer. Okay, we're diving straight in because the story we're looking at today, it is an absolute masterclass in defying the odds. Picture this. On one hand, you've got a 38-year-old defending champion gearing up to step onto a World Cup pitch for an unprecedented sixth time. Wild, right? But then, on the other hand, you have a young boy from a working-class family in Rosario, Argentina. A kid who was literally told by doctors he would never grow tall enough to play professional football. So, how do you get from point A to point B? How does someone rewrite the laws of physical reality to become the greatest to ever play the game? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down today.
I mean, just imagine the absolute heartbreak of this reality. Imagine being a child whose entire dream, the whole future you've built in your head, is suddenly blocked. Not because you aren't good enough, not because you don't put in the work, but solely because your family is too poor to afford the medicine that will literally allow your body to grow. For any young athletes out there watching this who might be facing your own massive obstacles, I really want you to keep this devastating starting point in mind as we trace this unbelievable journey of resilience.
Section 1. The diagnosis that threatened everything. You know, to truly understand the champion, we have to start with the child. Back as a tiny, just impossibly fast kid in Rosario, he was known as La Pulga, the flea. Coached by his dad at Grandoli FC, always cheered on by his grandmother Celia. But at age 10, that magical childhood was suddenly violently derailed. He was diagnosed with growth hormone deficiency, or GHD. Basically, his pituitary gland just wasn't producing enough growth hormone. The doctors were crystal clear. Without treatment, this boy, who had the talent of an absolute giant, would likely only ever reach 140 centimeters in height. His dream of playing pro football was effectively handed a physical ceiling. So, what's the cure? Daily injections. But here's the kicker. The cost was a staggering 12,000 euros a year. His father worked in a steel factory. Well, his dad worked in a factory, and his mom was a part-time cleaner. The family simply could not afford it. And the local clubs, teams like Newell's Old Boys who loved his talent, they just outright refused to pay his medical bills. Even River Plate showed interest, but then they backed out over the money too. So for 18 agonizing months, this young boy's future was literally just hanging in the balance. It created this completely impossible tension. On the one hand, you have undeniable, otherworldly, innate talent. On the other, a cruel physical reality. Picture a 10-year-old boy sitting on the edge of his bed, injecting his own legs with a needle every single night. He wasn't doing this to get some unfair edge over the other kids. No, he was enduring this pain just to grow, just to have a fighting chance to play the game he loved. Section 2. One napkin changed history. Fast forward to the year 2000. Out of options, out of money, Messi's family made a desperate gamble. A scout named Horacio Gaggioli saw the 13-year-old play, was absolutely left speechless, and convinced Barcelona to give him a trial. So this young boy leaves behind everything he knows and flies across the world to Spain. And the start went great. Barcelona's sporting director, Carlos Reixac, watched him for just a few minutes before deciding, yep, this is a generational talent. But then, internal politics stalled the deal. Weeks dragged on. Messi's father was incredibly frustrated, literally on the brink of packing up and taking his son back home. Realizing they were about to let a prodigy slip through their fingers, Reixac called an emergency meeting at a tennis club. He had absolutely no official paperwork on hand, so he just reached for the only thing he could find. He grabbed a literal paper napkin, and he scribbled these exact words in blue ballpoint pen right there at the tennis club. It stated that Barcelona agreed to sign him and, crucially, agreed to fund his full medical treatment. A fragile paper napkin, which, by the way, later auctioned off for over £760,000. Crazy, right? But that delicate little piece of paper, it saved a young boy's dream. Section 3. From academy to global icon. Now, arriving in Spain brought a whole new kind of hardship. Homesick, introverted, he barely spoke to his La Masia teammates for months. Instead, he channeled all of that profound isolation into obsessive, relentless daily training. He let his football do the talking. And the result? Just look at this staggering list of records. In 2005, he becomes the youngest scorer in Barcelona history. By 2009, he wins his first Ballon d'Or. In 2012, he scores an absurd 91 goals in a single calendar year, literally obliterating Gerd Muller's 40-year-old record. He ultimately finishes his Barcelona career with 672 goals, 4 Champions League titles, and a record 8 Ballon d'Ors. The boy who was told he was too small had completely, utterly conquered European club football. Section 4.
Heartbreak on the biggest stage. But listen, every epic story has a deep underlying conflict. Because while he ruled club football like a god, putting on the blue and white Argentina shirt brought 16 years of relentless heartbreak. Let's trace this out. 2006, out in the quarterfinals. 2010, a humiliating 4-0 crushing by Germany. Then 2014, the closest moment. Actually, scratch that. It was the most agonizing moment. He leads Argentina to the final in Brazil, extra time against Germany, and they lose 1-0. Even though he won the golden ball for the tournament's best player, the enduring image of that entire World Cup is Messi standing completely alone next to the trophy, looking utterly, devastatingly defeated. Then comes 2018, another painful exit, this time against France.
Eventually, the weight of an entire nation's expectations just broke him. After another brutal loss in the 2016 Copa América final, a shattered Messi announced his international retirement. "It's not for me," he said. "For me, the national team is over." The world had unfairly labeled him a choker. Critics said he only cared about his club, that he could never escape the massive shadow of Diego Maradona. This right here was the psychological breaking point of a man who'd quite literally given everything.
Section 5. The Ultimate World Cup Redemption. But millions of Argentine fans begged him to return, and 3 months later, he did. After finally lifting a trophy at the 2021 Copa América, a 16-year weight was lifted off his shoulders. And that set the stage for what many call the greatest World Cup final ever played. The suspense here is unbelievable. Step 1, Messi orchestrates an absolute masterpiece, and Argentina leads 2-0. But then, step 2, France strikes back, scoring twice in the dying minutes to tie it up. Panic sets in. Step 3, extra time. Messi scores to make it 3-2, only for France to tie it again at 3-3. Are you kidding me? It goes to penalties, the ultimate test of nerve. And then, step 4, Messi calmly steps up, scores his penalty, and Argentina finally, miraculously, wins the shootout.
December 18th, 2022. The boy from Rosario finally completes his life's work. The second they win, he falls to his knees, he screams at the sky. And, exactly like he did when he was a 10-year-old boy weeping on the pitch at Grandoli FC, he points upward for his grandmother Celia. In that single, overwhelming moment of emotional release, every cruel headline, every agonizing defeat, and every single needle he injected into his leg as a child, it all made sense. It was all leading exactly to this.
Section 6, One Last Dance in 2026. Now, after a storybook ending like that, the entire world expected him to just walk away, right? He moved over to MLS, started winning trophies with Inter Miami, but he isn't done. He's actually confirmed his spot for the 2026 World Cup, and the stakes here are astronomical. Argentina is looking to become only the 3rd nation in history to win back-to-back World Cups. Messi himself is just 3 goals away from becoming the all-time top scorer in World Cup history. And oh yeah, there is the tantalizing, absolute blockbuster possibility of a quarterfinal clash against his eternal rival Cristiano Ronaldo. It is setting up to be the ultimate last dance on the biggest stage imaginable. Which leaves us with this final, burning question. Will the boy, who was told he'd never grow tall enough to play, lift the ultimate prize one last time? Whether he does, or whether he simply walks off the pitch to a final standing ovation, one thing is absolutely certain. His journey, from a child who couldn't afford medicine to a global leader and captain, is a masterclass in resilience. We will literally never see anyone like him again. Now, if this story inspired you, make sure to follow along because our next explainer is going to cover the exact opposite side of this historic coin. We'll be breaking down the unbelievable journey of his greatest rival, Cristiano Ronaldo. Trust me, you will not want to miss it. Welcome